Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Race number 8 at Saratoga on Travers Saturday is the Grade 1 Ballerina Stakes. It kicks off a $1 million guaranteed pick 4, and it's part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. This, a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Let's take a look at the field for this Grade 1 Ballerina. It's a really fascinating race, and your morning line favorite from Southern California. It's the 7, Marley's Freedom, for those very familiar connections. Mike Smith, Bob Baffert. I know you're a big fan of this horse. She's riding a 3-race win streak.
Yeah, she really is. And I thought Bob Hess Jr. did a great job when he had her, and now Baffert has done a tremendous job with her as well. She's 3 for 3 over here, 2 for 2 with Baffert anyway. It's an instance where the distance, I know she's 0 for 3 at 7/8, but I don't think that's really a problem for her. And I understand that Great Lady M right now, you look at it, she only earned a 91 buyer, and the race has come back weak. The Sky Diamond's the runner-up, in the 3rd place finisher Phantom Proton. They came back to earn buyers of 78 and 79. I just don't think that was really... I don't think she needed to have her A game, Marley's Freedom. I think that was a very workmanlike effort. She did what she needed to do. I think she's more capable of posting a number closer to the 105 that she earned 2 starts back than necessarily the 91 from the Great Lady M.
And I really think that she has the tactical speed to work a trip out in every one of her races. I think she's adaptable to any kind of pace situation, and the pace, as we see from our Timeform US pace projector, is expected to be somewhat moderate. Note the blue bar, which favors horses on or near the early lead. And if this pace projector is correct, the number 5, Finley's Lucky Charm, is going to be very tough. Now, I thought she had a soft trip in winning the Grade 2 Honorable Miss early this meet. I mean, she sat second just off moderate fractions, and then she kept right on going, but that was a career best buyer speed figured effort for a horse that could be loose on the lead, and she's pretty good to begin with.
Yeah, she is, and she made me look a little bit silly because going into that race, I said I don't think she's what she was last year as a racehorse. And you know what? This probably sounds stupid. I still don't think she is. I know she earned the 104 buyer, but you brought up the big thing. She had an absolute dream setup in that race, and I don't want to take anything away from her, but at the same time, going 7/8 of a mile against better horses. And look, if she gets out there and she can just cut out the fractions that she wants, then sure, maybe she's just going to be too much. But I think she's going to get bet in here, and I don't think she has a tremendous edge over the rest of the field.
The number 6 is Lewis Bay. We've got her sitting second in that Timeform US pace projector. That would be a very comfortable spot, and I thought Lewis Bay got a very comfortable trip in winning the Grade 3 Better Roses the last time we saw her. She's doing everything backwards now. She's on her right lead on the turn. She's on her left lead in the stretch, and it really didn't matter. She earned a career best 98 buyer speed figure, and Chad has given her plenty of time since that race, and that's been a good move according to this formulator fact for Chad Brown and Lewis Bay. Over the past 5 years, older dirt sprinters, 2 to 4 month layoffs, last out winners, 40% winners, 354 ROI. Lewis Bay is a millionaire. You always have to respect her, but at a short price, I don't see the strong edge.
No, I don't think she has any real edge, and I kind of feel like, don't we know Lewis Bay? Usually when the waters get a little bit deeper, there's at least 1 or 2 better than her. Hard to knock a horse that 14 out of 15 times in the money, but at the same time, whenever she's one of the short prices in here, I have to look at it and say, realistically, I got to find somebody else, because she's going to do those things with the lead changes, and against better horses, I don't think you can win doing that.
A really fascinating turn back in distance, and generally we like turnbacks at 7 furlongs, is the number 2 Ivy Bell, now trained by Todd Pletcher. This horse won the graded Inside Information and was second in the Humana Distaff, both at this 7 furlong distance, and I understand why Todd wanted to stretch her out, because that's where a lot of the big money is. She was no match for Abel Tasman, 2 back in the Phipps, and then last time out, 1 1/8 was simply too far in the Shoe V. She's getting cut back to 7 furlongs. The question is, can she be close enough to the pace, or do you think those route efforts have sapped her speed somewhat? It's nice to see at least Todd's working her fairly quickly.
Yeah, I would like to think that she's going to be a little bit closer to the pace, but the problem is, even if she is a little bit closer, you combine that with a soft enough sort of pace situation presented in front of her. I look at her, and you know I've been a fan of hers for the past 2 years now. At the end of the day, she has a career best buyer of 92. She's not fast enough to win a race like this. And after 19 starts, can you realistically and reasonably project a big forward move? I'm not sure that I can.
Speaking of low best buyer speed figures, Karen just earned her career best. That was an 86. When I needed her in the Shine again, I needed her to win. She, of course, ran second. She is solid from a buyer standpoint, consistently in the mid to high 80s. She will have to run a lifetime best for the Great Grand Motion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she hasn't cracked 90 yet. You brought it up, a career best number of 86. That's good enough, maybe for a minor award at best.
I think the 8 Union Strike has an upset chance, at least to hit the board at a gigantic price. This was a filly who was a Grade 1 winner at this distance at 2. Things really didn't work out at 3, although she did run a good second in the 8 bells again at this distance. She returned last time out, 6-month layoff, synthetic track, stymied in a race with no pace, and she finished third behind a real hot horse. That hotshot Anna has now won 3 in a row after taking the satin and lace at Presque Isle Downs with a 94 Beyer speed figure. I wish Union Strike had a little bit more early speed, but now with Steve Asmussen, I think she can hit the board at a price.
Yeah, I guess the jury's still out as to what her capabilities are, because she's had start and stop campaigns. She's running different surfaces at different distances and all those sorts of things. I suppose if you just want to go back and really break it down and make it simple, as a 3-year-old early on, she earned a 90 Beyer in a sprint race. If you think that she can earn something in the mid-90s, she certainly has a big chance to hit the board, if not threaten for the victory.
Highway Star was a runner-up in this race last year. If you recall, that was a race that had no pace whatsoever, and Highway Star was up close throughout. I wonder if she's lost just a little bit of zip off the fastball, although she is graded stakes place this year. She's a millionaire with a nice outside post. I'd like to see Louise Saez get a bit aggressive coming out of the gate.
She's always been one of my favorites. She owes me nothing from a wagering standpoint either. And just looking at it from her form recently, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe now as a 5-year-old, she's not quite what she was as a 4-year-old last year.
Tequilita loves 7 furlongs. She's 3 for 7 at this distance on dirt, 1 for 8 everywhere else, but she was no match for Still There, a horse we're going to talk about in a second, in the Twix Stakes last time out. Michael Matt's Kentucky Derby winning trainer putting the blinks on, trying to get her into the race a little sooner.
I think that's really been her biggest problem throughout her career, is that it's one thing when you come with a nice big finish. It's another thing when you're 10 lengths out of it and you're trying to make up all that ground on the main track. I think she's a decent horse, career best Beyer of 91, not fast enough to win a race like this just yet. But I think there's another scenario where maybe she can come with a late run to finish 2nd or 3rd.
But we want a price in here. We do respect the shorter priced horses in this race, certainly. But we were very impressed with the number 3, Still There, as we take a look at our top selections. This filly is a perfect 3 for 3 on dirt, 2 wins at 7 furlongs. And although she didn't beat the strongest field last time out at Laurel, I just loved the way she did it. She was sent right up to prompt the pace 3 wide on the turn, blew by, and then while drifting a little bit to the inside, had no problems with some salty listed stakes types.
Yeah, Lake Pontchartrain, the runner-up, she came back and was the next out winner with an 88 Beyer speed figure. I think you brought up an important piece. The way that she moves rounding the turn, she just did it all very, very easily for Dane Kabisky. David Cohen has the mount here on Saturday. This is one of those instances where, from a class standpoint, she has not shown it yet. From a speed figure standpoint, she's not far off, but she's so lightly raced. She continues to take steps forward. You need to make a decision, and the reason that I'm willing to go here, and I don't know about you, I don't want to speak for you, the reason I'm willing to go here is because you're going to get a decent number on her, and I think there's a scenario where perhaps she's actually one of the best horses in this race, if not the best. I'll take a shot with her. I think she's got a big chance.
I'm with you because she is the perfect combination of potential and price. She's 12 to 1 on the morning line, and you know she is going to be a good price come post time. Give me numbers as we kick off the $1 Million Guaranteed Pick 4.
3-7-5-2.
3-5-6-7 for me in the Grade 1 Ballerina Stakes, part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. It's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Good luck.